Hi, Merry Meet. So I wanted to review a movie today. And it is a movie that has been both celebrated and really hated in the pagan community for various reasons. But really what it is just a 90s horror movie. And the movie I'm talking about is this one, The Craft. Now, The Craft was made in 1996. It is about 4 young high school girls who practice witchcraft and how their friendship evolves and eventually descends when the group's leader goes completely insane. So yes, now I'm going to discuss a little bit first about the movie's impact on the pagan community and then the more details around the movie itself. Now, The Craft has been hated a lot in the pagan community because when this first came out in the 90s, we had a lot of people coming in who had no other experience with paganism than the craft. And the problem is also that the craft proudly announces that it has a real practitioner as an effects advisor. And also one of the main actresses is a Wiccan, or don't quote me on that, I think she's a Wiccan, but she might be following another pagan path, but she's practicing at least. And as such, many people took it as being more real than it really is. Now, I also had the great joy and privilege, excuse me, the air gets really dry when you first start turning on the ovens in the winter time, so lip balm. But yeah, like that, I had the great joy of being a teenage witch at the time of this movie, when this movie came out and had its major popularity. And as such, I got that stigma a lot. So, no, you watched Craft, then you're probably not serious. Now, I always had a more relaxed opinion on this. Basically, if we have quite a few people in the pagan community today who got interested because of the craft, who then later studied deeper and learned real information, and then I say, yay, everybody wins. And for those who just had it as a fad because they were fans of this movie or didn't really take it seriously, they just went on by, no harm done. I don't really see why the movie should be that yelled at. Basically, of course, you had a lot of people coming in saying, is Manon real? Can I walk on water? How do I make pens stand on the sharp end and twirl around? And we had to politely explain again and again and again and again that while there are rumors that some ascended masters can walk on water, you're probably not gonna do that in your first year of practice. And as for telekinesis, yeah, a lot of us think it's possible, but getting to the point where you can make a pen twirl around, that'll take some work. And by the way, this movie is fiction. But yeah, other than that, having to explain this again and again and again, I don't really see the problem. I mean, this leads me back to the same old, but what if somebody has paganism just as a face? Yeah, so what? A lot of people have one religion or another as a face for a while. Not everybody finds the religion that I will follow their entire lives immediately. Some go through many religions. Others have periods where they have one interest or another, or find that this isn't for them. And if somebody wants to run around and worship a deity named Manon and try to make pens stand on edge, If they get joy from that, have at it. I don't really see the problem. It's the same thing we had a few years later with Charmed, that people came in and asked, are there really warlocks? And you had to explain that while it is a name that some few use for male practitioners, it is most do not. It's not really considered a polite term since it means oathbreaker, though there are some translations from some languages where it has a more positive meaning. So, like I said, some use it, but generally not. But in either case, you will not have to worry about one of them standing in your elevator and trying to stab you with a big knife to steal your powers, because that is fiction. But really, a lot of people came to the craft because of fiction, and as such, I don't really see the problem. I myself came to the craft very much because of fiction, not in entirety because my mother is a healer and she is interested in quite a few of these topics, so I had exposure to it. But the reason why I started to study was because of a book named uh, The Agent from oh, and there's your list of letters. It can hardly be pronounced. Basically, it's a book by Philip Newt about a young witch girl who have to save the world from aliens. I was 10 years old, the book made a real impact on me, and because of that I got interested in the topics, which has led me to study the occult since then. Why people start to walk a path isn't important, and if a movie inspires them, what's the problem? I don't see that there is an issue here. Of course, if people continue to have wrong information, that might damage them in the end. But really, I don't see an issue. Others were angry at the craft because it do play a bit into the all witches are evil theme. Now, I don't think this is completely, because actually quite a few of the witches in the movie are not evil. I think it is more about a cautionary tale of power corrupts, but I can't see how some people will see it that way. But yeah, that's just my opinions about the craft when it comes to the pagan community. I don't see it as a big deal, but I do see it as an important movie in that it has brought a lot of people to the community for good or bad reasons. And I do not think that one have to disregard fiction as a source of inspiration. Though some people should perhaps read a bit more up on a thing before they just assume that fiction is real, even if it have a practitioner of that as a consultant. Now, for the movie itself. The craft is about a young girl, Sarah, who moves to a new town, and she is becomes very much a social outcast when her date when she refuses to sleep with her first date there, and he treats her like shit and says she's a slut. And she hooks up with some other misfits, and and they join their witches coven. Now, first everything is good and well and fine as their friendship grows and they start to develop powers that really helps them. Like one of the characters, Bonnie, has burn scars all over her body, and the doctors find a treatment so the scars vanish because of a spell they did. And yeah, things goes very well for a while. But some of them start to use their magic for revenge and for not too good things, and things start to spiral out of control. So, for example, Nancy, the coven leader, she has an abusive stepfather. He abuses her physically, and it's pretty strongly imply that he abuses her sexually as well. And she casts a curse on him, and he's dead. And well, casts a curse. She casts a spell on him, and he's dead. And Sarah, she casts a spell on that jerk of a boy who ruined her reputation, so that he becomes completely lovesick after her. Bonnie becomes a complete narcissist because she is so then obsessed with beauty. And Rochelle uses magic to get revenge on a racist queen bee popular girl at school. After a while, I also do a ritual to invoke Manon, the deity they worship. And Nancy gets enormously powerful and loses her marbles at the same time. And when Sarah decides she isn't gonna be in on this anymore, all hell breaks loose. Now, good things about this movie. I think that it has very well paced. You actually get that whole developing friendship between these four girls, and to the point that you actually feel loss when that friendship breaks apart in the end. And that's just amazing to do in a 1.5 hour or so movie. And I think the effects, the magic is very well done. Now, again, it is inspired by pagan practices. That doesn't mean that pagan magic is flashy like that in real life. It's inspired, not... That's what happens when you have a consultant. If you have a consultant on hacking, they might give you some advice, but it is up to the producers what they will take. So, yeah. But the rituals are very interesting, it's very well done, it's powerful that way. And so it's very visually made, well done, the magic is very well done, the pacing is very well done. The characters are okay, but you have seen them before, they follow the stereotypes very much. You have the pretty kind white blonde girl, you have the bullied black girl, the angry goth girl, the ugly duckling that turns into a swan with a twist. Yeah. So yeah, but I like the story. The characters is okay and the magic is amazing. Now, bad things about this movie. Well, I don't like that it is one more movie of those the bullied people turns out to be evil. Basically, there's so many movies there where you have people who are bullies and they are bullied, and they are the outcasts, and they go over the edge, and they become monsters. And that sort of justifies the bullying. Because as I said, these people are bad, they're bad folks. And I don't like that. And so that can be a problem. Another bad thing is that it's supposed to be a cautionary tale, but all the victims are such assholes that even if you have a bit, like the TV trope says, disproportionate retribution, then Gidder bare be og vente i 1 minutt. I have to run because I'm being picked up for lunch with some friends. So I'm just gonna wrap this up really quickly. Like I said, it's a bit of a disproportionate retribution going on here, but all of them are assholes. You have a racist that makes Rochelle's life hell. You have a person that sexually abuses his stepdaughter. You have a person that tries to ruin a girl's life because she wouldn't sleep with him. All wonderful characters. And bad things happening to them just feels right, which makes sure that that cautionary tale doesn't really work. Because I like seeing these bad people get fucked over by magic. So yeah, it would have been better as a cautionary tale if some innocents got hurt rather than just the assholes. Other than that, I really don't have a complaint about this movie. I've seen it I don't know how many times. I think I rented it 5, 6, 7 times with the video store before I finally got it on tape, and now I have it on Blu-ray, and I really love it. It's a very good example of a 90s horror movie. There's not a lot of blood and gore in here, so it's safe for, I would say, everyone from 11, 12 and up. So, great story, okay characters, great magic, a little bit flawed on the victim part because all the victims are assholes, but other than that, can't complain. This is a great movie, and while the magic definitely aren't really representative of pagan magic, it is interesting, and it does have that pagan flair about it. So yeah, that's my review of The Craft. I hope you enjoyed it. Have a great day, and blessed be.